Hey there, my name's Jen Harris, and I'm super excited to share something with you guys today. See, I found something that helped me from one of the hardest things in my life to completely thriving and just loving life. See, I want to share this story with you that I haven't really shared completely publicly yet, and I'm sharing it in the hopes that I can help other people. So, when I started my divorce process, I was at this point in my life where I felt hopeless, at a loss, completely terrified. But what I found was through some self attention and some specific steps that I took that I had researched and learned, I was able to not only pull myself out of a very, very, very dark place, which I'm going to tell you about here shortly. I was able to work through the hardest time of my life and not just survive, but fully thrive on the other side of it. I was married to an addict. We had a very, very toxic relationship. When my youngest son was about 2 months old, I walked in on my then husband at the time shooting heroin. And it was one of the hardest things that ever happened to me in my entire life. After that, I decided to stay, and we decided to try to work on it and make the marriage work for the kids. But what happened is over time, he was recovering and relapsing and recovering again. I became codependent, and our relationship just got very, very messy and very toxic together. There are some things that I did that I wasn't proud of, and I'm sure he would say the same, but together we were no longer working, and it was a very toxic environment. During one of those toxic blowups, I actually nearly ended my life. My mom found me holding, sorry guys, a little emotional. My mom found me holding my breath underneath the water in her swimming pool. And I think that she came out at the time that she did that night and knocked some sense into me. Not physically, but you know what I mean. And thank God I had a rude awakening that this was a breaking point for me. It was either figure this out and improve myself, get the attention that I need to rebuild myself, to regrow, to understand why this was such a difficult process. Why entering into divorce? We hadn't even moved out yet. We were just entering the divorce phases. But why was this happening? Why was I feeling so low? Why had I hit rock bottom? Understanding why that happened, but I knew that this was my breaking point and that I either would end up completely worse off or not here at all and not able to be here for my family and the people that love me, or I could do something about it, turn my life around, and choose to actually use a divorce or separation situation to rebuild, grow, and thrive in my life to end up completely happy on the other side. So what I did is I started learning absolutely everything I could. I started getting therapy, I started getting coaching, I paid for coaching programs, and I was able to learn all of these things and start implementing the things that I was researching. I used everything that I learned, from getting professional help to the things that I was researching on my own, to basically create my own system, and I started implementing that. I dove into it. What I found is once I did that, my career, my life started thriving. I found a healthy relationship once I started thriving and having a healthy life again. I was able to focus on my kids. They're so happy, even though their parents are divorced. And I fell in love with myself again. Once I realized how life-changing the simple system I adapted was, I went on to get my coaching certification so that I could use this program that I've adapted and created to help others get through the experience that I got through. So what I'm looking to do now is to help others that are where I was. And maybe you aren't as desperate as I was. Maybe you haven't reached that rock bottom, and great, but let's prevent that from happening. I went from literally nearly taking my own life to completely thriving. Even on the hardest of days now, I have all of the tools and resources I need to quickly bounce back. And overall, I have a high quality of life that I'm living now in my mind and my actions. I want others to not just survive through the divorce and separation process, but truly thrive. Because we all know if you're entering into it, if you're in the middle of it, and even if you've been through it, but you just need to rebuild, divorce, separation are the hardest things, the most traumatic things that you can, one of the most traumatic things that you can go through in your life. And it can be devastating. And you owe it to yourself. You deserve to step into the thriving part of your life that can be on the other side. So I am super excited to share some stuff in the coming weeks with you guys on how I did that. And I wanted to let you guys know I actually have a completely free support group system for you guys on Facebook. If you want information on that free group and to plug into that free system, I just want you to say Thrive below and we will get you hooked up. Let me know also in the comments what the hardest part of the divorce situation has been for you so that we can cheer you on through it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.